Hello, dear students. I hope Unit 1 is clear to you guys as you have done really well in your unit tests as well. Now it's time for Unit 2 Amazing Animals. We have already started this in the live classes, but for the students who are studying from home, this is a nice chapter about animals. We'll have certain various activities regarding stories of animals or certain facts about animals and a nice poem about them. So let's start with activity 1. This unit is about some of the amazing animals that share our world. And in your textbook, you have been given this picture. Now, from this picture, you have to answer two questions. First question is, what is the shape? Which animal's shape do you see? And then, which words are there in this shape? So you can try this by yourself and I'm sure you'll get really good answers. Like all the words are easily readable. But still, let me give you the answers. First question, what animal shape do you see? It was very easy. We see the shape of a butterfly, or you can directly write butterfly in your textbook. Now the second question, what words do you find in the shape? You will find many words, but these are there. The order does not matter, but you have make sure that you find even the words which are written in small letters. So the words we find in the shape are red, fly, blue, flowers, color, antenna, insect, free, pollen, black, yellow, change, cocoon, wings, pretty, beautiful, flying, caterpillar, and flutter. Now all these words are related to animals only. So this was a small activity 1. Now we will start with activity 2. It is actually a story and it's a really nice one. Let's start with activity 2, Battle in the Jungle part 1.
Once upon a time, all the animals that walked on the land and all the birds and insects that flew in the sky began to quarrel about who was the smartest and strongest. At first, they spoke softly. Then, slowly, they became angrier and louder. The tigers growled and the wolves howled. The birds gave loud cries and cackles. The insects buzzed as loudly as they could. So, the story is about a time long ago when all the animals and birds and insects they started quarreling. Well, just like the colors we studied, here also the animals started quarreling about who is the smartest and strongest. Initially, it was like they spoke softly. It was just like a discussion. But then slowly, when no one was agreeing and coming to one point, they started quarreling loudly and got angrier. The tigers growled and the wolves howled. Growled. Growling is the voice that you animals make through their throat. When we hear dogs, when they want to give a warning, that's the kind of growling. And the wolves howled. Howling is the long, loud voice that they make. The birds gave loud cries and cackles. Cackles also is the noise that birds make, and the insects buzzed as loudly as they could. You know what is the buzzing sound? At last, an old parrot said, "Stop shouting. Let's not waste our time and energy in talk. Let's fight." The animals laughed at the bird's idea. "What?" said the lion. "Can you fight us? Don't be foolish. I can bite harder than any one of you." The elephant said, "I can lift a whole tree and fight you all at once. We will easily defeat you." "Will you?" said the parrot. We'll see about that. Get ready to fight us. So, when all the animals were quarreling, an old parrot said that everyone stop shouting and let's not waste our time and energy. We will fight. It was an old bird, and you can see the animals in the jungle, how strong they are. So the lion said he was surprised. More, he was shocked. Can you fight us? Don't be foolish. I can bite harder than any one of you. We all know a lion, just with his bite, he can separate the meat from the body. The elephant said, I can lift a whole tree and fight you all at once. We also know how strong an elephant is. So the parrot calmly said, Will you? Will you defeat us? We'll see about that. Get ready to fight us. The lion became the commander of the animals. The parrot became the commander of the birds. The lion called all the animals together and gave them a drill for practice. They marched for long hours. He gave them a lot of good food too. The poor birds did not have good food and they did not practice. Instead, they had a meeting with their friends, the insects. So, the lion became the commander of animals and the parrot became the commander of birds. Who is the commander? A person who commands, who gives orders, who is in charge. So the lion called all the animals and gave them a drill for practice. Drill is not the drill or drilling machine that we use to make hole. Here drill means an exercise that is done continuously or repeatedly till the other person has known it well. They marched for long hours. You know what is marching, right? He gave them a lot of good food too. Well, for good exercise and for proper energy, you need good food. So the lion made sure that all the animals got good food. The poor birds did not have good food and they did not practice. But what did they do? They had a meeting with their friends, the insects. This is the story till now. We'll study what happens next in the next class. Till then, study these meanings.
I hope the first part of the story Battle in the Jungle is clear. Now activity 3. It is about related to activity 2. Let's read the questions. 3 characters have spoken in the story so far. Who are they? Well, how do we know that somebody has spoken something? When we read the dialogues, when we see the quotation marks, the punctuation marks of quotation, double quotes that we see. From that we can see who are the characters that spoke. Other animals' sounds were given, but these animals' dialogues were given. An old parrot, the lion, and the elephant have spoken in the story so far. Question 2. Notice and copy one of the quotations with its punctuation from one of the characters. You can write any one, but I have given you 3 here. At last, an old parrot said, Stop shouting. Let's not waste our time and energy in talk. Let's fight. When we are talking about the punctuation, we have to give all the punctuations, not just the quotations, but who said them, not just the dialogue, but also the character who spoke that dialogue. So the whole line you will have to write. What? Said the lion. Can you fight us? Don't be foolish. I can bite harder than any one of you. The elephant said, I can lift a whole tree and fight you all at once. We will easily defeat you. What do you think the tigers and wolves were saying with their growling and howling? Growling and howling are the noises that they make, the sound that they make. So Tigers growled. This is totally on your imagination. You can write your own answers as well. But here I have written just these two sentences. You can make a whole dialogue. Tigers growled, "We are the strongest. Nobody can defeat us." Wolves howled, "There is no issue of deciding or proving who is the smartest. We are smarter than most other animals here." You can also write about other animals or what you think the tigers or wolves were saying.
Now, part 2 of the story. At the meeting, the parrot called on their friend, the fly. "You become the spy for our army. Tell us the animal's plan." We know what is a fly, right? Monkey. So, the fly can easily mingle amongst the animals and he can spy. Spy means to observe secretly and try to get the information from the animals. "Yes," said the fly, "I will become the spy for our army." Before the battle, the lion called all the animals together. The tiny fly flew in and hid nearby. So the fly agreed to be the spy for their army, the army of the birds, and the insects were their friends. So before the battle, when the lion called all the animals together, the tiny fly flew in. The fly also flew and hid nearby. Hid is the past tense of hide. So the fly was hidden somewhere near the meeting place of the animals. "Are you all ready?" the lion asked. "Yes, we are ready," they all shouted. "We are ready to go to the battlefield." After the march and the drill, they were ready to fight. "Then listen carefully," said the lion. The lion, their commander, was about to give them the information that was needed during their battle. The lion whispered, "I have a plan. Captain Fox, you have a nice long tail. You will be my signal. On the battlefield, I shall whisper in your ear when it is time to fight. You will put up your long tail to signal all the animals to attack the birds. Is that clear?" So the lion whispered. Why was the lion whispering? Because this was the main information. And what did he whisper? What did he say? He told that he has a plan. Captain Fox. So the lion was the commander and who was the captain? Fox. We know how a fox looks. So he lion said that, "Captain Fox, you have a nice long tail. You will be my signal. Signal to attack." What did he had to do? On the battlefield, when lion will whisper in the ear of Captain Fox, it will be the time to fight. And whenever lion whisper, the fox will have to put up the tail to signal all the animals to attack the birds. And then he asked, "Is that clear?" "Very clear, sir," said the fox. "Very well," said all the animals in one voice. The fly hurried to tell the parrot the lion's secret plan. The fly also heard this plan, what he was supposed to do, and then he hurriedly, very quickly, went to the parrot to tell the secret plan of lion. The time for the battle came. Both sides met on the battlefield. Soon the lion whispered to the fox, "It is time. Put up your tail." The fox put up his tail to signal the animals to attack. Now the time for the battle came. Earlier, how they used to fight, we have seen in the Ramayans or the Mahabharats that the two armies, the two opposing sides will come to the battlefield where the battle is supposed to happen. So when the both sides met there, and then the lion whispered to the fox, "It is time, put up your tail." It is time for what? To attack. So he told him to put up his tail. The fox, as commanded, put up his tail to signal the animals to attack. But the parrot was ready. He quickly and quietly said to the bee, "Hurry at once and sting the fox's tail." So what was the plan of parrot? Quickly but quietly said to the bee. We know how a bee looks, right? Hurry at once and sting the fox's tail. What is stinging? हम जिसे डंक मारना कहते हैं. So quickly go and sting the fox's tail. The bee stung the fox. He stung him once. He stung him twice. He stung him 3 times. The fox forgot all about the signal. He jumped, he shouted, he ran in circles after his injured tail, and finally tucked his tail between his legs and ran away. The other animals were confused and ran after him. They ran away from the battlefield. They lost the battle. The birds fluttered their wings in joy. They had won without fighting at all. So what happens when you are stung? You forget everything else and your mind goes to that area and you are in pain, so you jump and shout. Fox did the same thing. If we are stung on a hand, we directly try to rub it, but the fox was stung at his tail, so he was trying to get hold of his tail and pamper it or rub it, but that's not possible. So what did he do? He was running in circles and finally tucked his tail between his legs and ran away. Dum daba ke bhag gaya. The other animals were confused and ran after him. The other animals, they had to follow the signal of the captain. So what did they do? They were confused. What is our captain doing? But still, they did what the fox did. So they ran after him. And if the fox ran away, all the animals ran away, what happened? They all ran away from the battlefield. They lost the battle. We know if we are playing a game and if we quit, we lose. So the animals lost the battle even without starting it. And the birds won the battle even without fighting. How? Because of the smartness of parrot. The birds fluttered their wings in joy. They had won without fighting at all. So that's it with the story. We'll start with the meanings and exercises in next class.
Activity 5. Now these are the questions related to the story. After reading the whole story, you all must be having your own thoughts. Who do you think was the smartest? The lion who prepared his army well, or the parrot who tricked the animals? It has to be your answer. You can be with the majority or the minority, it does not matter, but have your own opinion. After reading the story, we can say that the parrot was the smart one because he won the battle even without fighting. Who do you think is the strongest? The elephant who can lift a tree or the bee who can win a battle with a sting? See here, when we are talking about strength, from the story we realized that strength or a person who is strong does not necessarily have to be physically strong. Your mental ability, your smartness, even that is your strength. How you use your brain, how you use your own qualities, that is your strength. So we can also say that the bee was strongest. Just with its own sting, it won the whole battle. Third question. If a small bee can be stronger than a large elephant, then what does the word strong really mean? If, for example, if the elephant is strong but the bee is stronger, what can a stronger person do that a strong person cannot? Again, Your opinions matter here, but we can say that if a bee is stronger than the elephant, then strength does not necessarily mean physical strength. It means your ability, how you know yourself and use it to its fullest potential, how you manage everything and make out the best of the scenario, of the situation. That is strength.
First word, growl. To make a low noise in the throat to show anger or to give a warning. We know how the dogs growl. Second word, howl. To make a long, loud sound. The wolves howl at night. Third word, drill. To teach somebody by making him or her repeat something many times. This is the word used in the story. You all know the second meaning of drill. It's drilling something like with a machine. Fourth word, march. To walk with regular steps like a soldier. Do you know which is the other meaning? Yes, it's the month March. Fifth word, buzz. Make a low, continuous humming sound. The bees buzzed. Sixth word, flutter. Flap its wings quickly and lightly. The birds flutter. Only 6 meanings are there. Write them in your book and understand them clearly. Now let's start with the exercises. First exercise is fill in the blanks. First word, blank suggested the idea to fight. An old parrot suggested the idea to fight. Second word, the blank became the commander of the animals. Lion. Third word, the blank became the commander of birds. The answer is parrot. Fourth, the birds had a meeting with the insects. Fifth, the blank became the spy for the birds' army. The fly. Easy, right? Next exercise is answer the following questions. First question, what were the animals and birds quarreling about? Answer, the animals and birds were quarreling about who was the smartest and the strongest. Second question, what did the lion do to prepare the animals for the battle? Answer, the lion called all the animals together and gave them a drill for practice and gave them a lot of good food. Question 3. What was Lion's plan? Answer, Lion had planned to make Captain Fox his signal. On the battlefield, he would whisper in the fox's ear when it was time to fight. The fox will then put up his long tail to signal all the animals to attack the birds. Question 4. How did the birds win the battle? Or I can also ask, how did the animals lose the battle? Answer, the birds won the battle without fighting at all. When the fox put up his tail to signal the animals to attack, the parrot told the bee to sting the fox's tail. The bee stung him thrice. The fox forgot all about the signal, jumped, shouted, and ran in circles after his injured tail. Finally, he tucked his tail between his legs and ran away. The other animals got confused and ran after him. As the animals ran away from the battlefield, the birds won the battle.
So that's all about activity 1 to activity 5. Other parts are to be done during the live classes, so we'll do it that only. So till now, whatever the meanings, the blanks, the question answers have been given, you will have to write them in your notebook, but you can wait for the PDF to be published. Now that's it. I hope you guys do not have any doubts, and if you are having, please be there during the live classes so we can discuss it at that same moment. That's it for today. Bye.